2018 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Hey, what's up guys? Tony here, and you're watching some more MLB 14 Road to the Show with Chester Adams. This is my starting pitcher, and if you remember, the last video that I put up was back in June, so it was several months ago, and it was when I did the Tony Gwynn Remembrance video where I talked about how I went with this girl that I was seeing down to the memorial for Tony Gwynn with, thousands of other Padres, I'm going to assume Padres fans, but I imagine there were some fans, just general baseball fans, that might not have been Padre fans who attended as well, because, let's be honest, Tony Gwynn was not only, a Hall of Fame baseball player, but, to use that cliche, he was a Hall of Fame human being. I hate to use a cliche, but he was really well known in San Diego for being a really nice guy and going above and beyond for the fans. So it still stings that he's gone. Anywho, in that last video that I posted, my character was in the Yankees organization, and I believe I was still in AA. I was working my way through videos to, progress throughout my season, because at that point I had recorded about a whole season's worth of videos. And unfortunately, I lost interest, and I've been playing a lot. This is, to be honest, I still want to do the video where I talk about my teaching and just kind of run through that real quick. I do want to do that, but that's not going to be here. I'm going to use that for a racing video because it's like a 30-minute video, and it was a really good race, and I want to be able to talk about the teaching in as much detail as possible. And if you don't want to hear it, you don't want to hear it, whatever. You can turn me down and watch the race. But I do want to talk about it because it's something really exciting, and I'm really excited to talk about it. I just want to make sure and use the right video. But I still play a lot of the show. I usually play at least two games in the morning, and I play probably a couple at night. So I try to get in like 4 games per day. And I'll be honest, I actually want to complete a full career. I've never, believe it or not, since 2008, I have excuse me, I have never completed a full career in the show. And that's like no shit. Since 2008, I think the most seasons I've ever put into a position player, because that's what I primarily have played as, position player. But since then, I have only put in like 6 years. That was the most amount of time I ever put into a game before I jumped on to the next year, the next incarnation of the show. And so with 33 starts, they generally last between 15 minutes to a half hour per match or per game that I play, and that's pretty doable to get a couple done, in the course of a day. And you really rush through seasons very, very quickly. So that being said, I feel like I should reintroduce you to my character because he hasn't been on the channel since June, and he has matured significantly as a player. So again, he's with the Angels. This is my 4th season, so technically this is my 3rd full season that I'm going into with the Angels. So the way it worked out is I got traded from the Yankees to the Angels in my first big league year, which was in 2016. And so I played 2016. I split Angels and Yankees, so it was probably like 4 starts with the Yankees, and then I got traded to the Angels. So most of the season of 2016 I played with the Angels, so 17, and sorry, I guess it was 15, 16, and 17. Yeah, that's the way it went. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. I got called up in 2015. So 16, 17, now 18. So it was my 3rd full season with the Angels. But my rookie season, I split with the Yankees and Angels. So, confusion out of the way. Let's see here. I won the AL the AL Rookie of the Year, my rookie season. And then the last 2 years, so 2017 and 2016, I was the American League Cy Young Award winner, and I was also the American League MVP. And most notably, last season, I was talking to my buddy Leon about this because he's been playing the show as well, and he just started a pitcher, and he's all like, oh man, I want to go after that single season strikeout record. And I was like, yeah, me too. I really want to. because I was looking at some of the records. You know, they got the home run record and you got the hit streak record, and there's a single season strikeout record, which is held by Nolan Ryan when he was an Angel in, like, I think it was like 73 or 1970 something, and he struck out 383 batters. And if you calculate that out, so my player, in every full season that I've played, I've pitched in all 33 starts. I haven't been injured just yet, so, you know, knock on wood there. But that amounts to like 12 or 13 strikeouts on average per start in 33 starts. And right now, my pitcher averages like 9 point something strikeouts per start. So I have a lot of work to do if I want to start fanning, you know, 12, 13 guys on average per start if I want to break Nolan Ryan's record. It's ridiculous to think that Nolan Ryan, a real person, this is real life, and I'm playing a video game, he was able to strike out more people, you know, professional hitters. I'm going against AI. AI is, you know, it's AI. It's fallible. You know, well, I mean, professional hitters are fallible, but I mean, when you think of like a real person versus a computer AI, it's like the computer AI you should be able to best, especially since there's sliders involved and you can, like, you know, basically nerf the shit out of the hitters. Anywho, that being said, last season I struck out a total of 323 batters, so I was still 60 shy of the record, and I'm still, now this season, I'm still looking to go after it. It's something I want to do. Anyway, so that just kind of brings you, it kind of brings you up to date with where this player is, and I do hope to bring you more videos with this particular character, because, like I said, I really want to play a whole career. I really enjoy this character, and now that we've got the postseason here, soon to be the off season for several months before we roll into the next year, and hopefully a much improved version of the show. I think in another video or so, I want to talk about the things that are really irking me about the show and improvements that they could make, because there's a laundry list that needs to happen. And if I could write an open letter, I think that's maybe what I'll title it, like an open letter to San Diego Studios, because they really need to do some work on this game. It's really a great game, but it has some fundamental problems with it from like a baseball player's standpoint. So I'm going to do that in another video. I'll save that one for later. But what I want to talk about is where I'm at in this character in this season. Like right now, I won my first 5 games of this particular season so far, and I have hit that lull in the season that every player, either a position player or a pitcher, eventually hits. You know, the slump, the dreaded slump. Well, I hit that slump after 5 just wonderful starts. I was 5-0. My ERA is like 0.5. It's ridiculous. My whip is ridiculously low. It's like probably 0.7 or 0.8 or something like that. And in 75 innings, I've struck out like 95 batters. Like, I am on a roll. But a couple of games before this one, I have started to notice the inevitable, you know, slump, the ebbs and the flows. So I got the ebbs right now. You know, I'm out in the pits. It's the signs you can tell when you're not really gonna have a good time playing the show, is when your pitcher can't really locate his pitches like normal. The umpires aren't really giving you good calls. Now, the umpires are pretty damn terrible anyways, and I'll talk about that in another video. But the umpires are just really missing some very obvious calls. But the biggest sign that you're in a slump is the opposing hitters. They constantly hit everything that you throw at them. I mean, like, everything that you throw at them. It's really hard to get a strikeout. And for a strikeout pitcher like myself, when you're getting, you know, 1 per inning or less, you're like, okay, wow, that's a big time slump. Now, I mean, the argument could be made that that's normal baseball. Like, that's normal. Like, you're gonna go through that, which is fine. I'm all right with that. But, you know, what ultimately ends up happening is that your character will be in this little dump, and then you'll grow, you'll get out of it, and then you go back to prosperity. And you guys know that. I've talked about that for a long time. That's like nothing new to the show. That's just the way it works. Also something that's really interesting. The Astros are a team that, since I've been on the Angels, has been a team that has just fucked me up. Like, they literally fuck me up every time I pitch against them. But about, I don't know, almost a week ago, I pitched my very first perfect game. And of course I decided not to record it. Like, I just decided tonight to start recording again. But I pitched my first perfect game against the Astros. And since pitching that perfect game, I've pitched against them 3 or 4 times now. And since then, I have just dominated them. It's been awesome. Like, I was like, what why can't I be doing this like all the time? But they're the team that I just get my ass kicked. They just kick my ass every time. But like I said, since that perfect game, nothing, which is great. I love it, because there's nothing worse than going up against a team that it's just like, oh my god, this is not going to be good. So anyways, I do want to transition to some real life baseball, because I really do love talking about real life baseball in these videos. So we are in the playoffs now. We are into the ALCS and the NLCS. So the championship series is here. We've got, in the American League, we've got the Orioles and the Royals. And that's really hard because I keep wanting to say Royals. And the National League, we've got the Giants and the Cardinals. No real surprise there. I'll be honest, because of the heroic, antics, I guess, because of the heroic play. Well, heroic is really like, that's really bold for a baseball team. But the Royals have really come out of nowhere, and I'm an underdog. I'm gonna pull for the underdog. So I'm really pulling for the Orioles, see, I did it again. The Royals to beat the Orioles. So I'd love to see the Royals go to the World Series. I mean, watching what they did in the wild card game against the A's, I totally thought the A's were gonna win. Lester was pitching, it's like, oh my god, the A's have got this. Like, they had the best record in all of baseball for most of the season, and it sucks to see them go from the best team in baseball on this slope to not even making it past the first round. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? But so the Royals were able to beat the A's, and then they're able to beat the Angels, which surprised the shit out of me, because the Angels finished the year with the best record in Major League Baseball, and you figured that if anyone's going to make the World Series, it's got to be the best team in baseball. And that's not the case. Now you got the Royals and the Orioles. I'm pulling for the Royals, so I'd like to know who you're going to pull for. The National League, Giants and the Cardinals. I was happy to see the Cardinals beat the Dodgers. As a Padres fan, I just get a kick out of watching the Dodgers lose. So for me, I was pulling for the Cardinals the whole way, even though I got mixed feelings about the Cardinals, because when the Padres were going to the playoffs, it seemed like every freaking year the Cardinals and the Padres played each other in the first round in the divisional series, and we lost. It was like, what the freak, man? So I was pulling for the Cardinals. They won. I was stoked about that. And the Giants, against the Nationals, I was a little mostly neutral in that, but I will be honest, I was pulling more for the Giants than I was for the Nationals. And I mean, that's for a multitude of reasons. I just don't want to see Bryce Harper go to the World Series right now, because people tote him like he's the best baseball player since Babe Ruth and Ted Williams. He's like this merger of these two players. And granted, he's a good ball player. He's a great athlete. But I don't think he's as good as everybody makes him out to be. Like, if I were to say the best young outfielder right now in Major League Baseball is Mike Trout. I mean, the guy's got all 5 tools. And he just has it. He's just better all-around ball player than I believe Harper is. And that's just my personal opinion. Harper is like above average baseball player. If he could start hitting over 300 and he starts hitting 30 home runs a year and driving in like 80, 90 plus RBIs a season, then I'll say, yeah, you're an exceptional ball player. Yeah, but right now you're just a good ball player. And there's a lot of that, the Harper show, the Bryce Harper show during the divisional series, because he hit like 3 home runs in 4 games, hit really well, beat the shift in one at bat that I was watching, played some good defense. The guy had a great series, but doesn't necessarily mean that he's the most the most fantastic baseball player of the postseason. Like, the only thing to talk about. So a little bit of that, my want for the Giants to win was because I didn't want to see Bryce Harper get closer to the World Series, so people can be like, look at the next greatest thing since sliced bread, Bryce Harper. And that's what it amounts to. So you can agree or disagree with me. I don't know. That's up to you. As far as teams from the National League that I think are going to go to the World Series, I would like to see the Cardinals go. So, Toph, if you're watching, I'm pulling for your Cardinals, but I got a feeling the Giants are going to make another appearance into the World Series. So, I think it'll end up being the Royals against the Giants. And like I said, I'm pulling for the Royals myself, and that's just me. So in the comment section below, let me know, who are you pulling for in the series? Who do you think is going to win the AL? Who do you think is going to win the NL? And who do you think is going to be facing off in the World Series? And who would you like to see win it all? So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I shall talk to you guys later.